Hello out there. Welcome to the Real Estate Lab episode 79. We're going to talk about property wars. As you know, this is typically a greater Austin area podcast, and I think that's starting to consume today's topic. Property wars versus San Antonio. So we have a special guest today, Renee from San Antonio. If you'd like to introduce yourself and let us know about some of the properties here. We're going to be talking about a few different price points. We're going to do the San Antonio median price point, the Austin median price point, and then look at properties that have a luxury price point. So Renee, would you like to introduce yourself and tell us about San Antonio 280,000. Realtor.com says that was the median price point in February of this year.
Right. Awesome. Well, thanks guys so much for having me. Like you said, my name's Renee. I work the San Antonio area. I'm a real estate agent with Real Brokerage. Cover all of San Antonio, all the way up to like New Braunfels, San Marcos area. I'm a veteran, so we have a lot of military presence in San Antonio. And I'm going to share kind of how that's affected our market.
Awesome.
So I've got, let's see. I got to be smarter than the tech. 1 second. Okay. So do y'all see this on my screen now?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All right. So let's go into, you said median price point around San Antonio is about 280. So this is a great house. Jumping right into that. This is listed at 255. And this is in an area called Crewall Place. And if we zoom out a little bit, I really like to refer to the map a lot because as you guys know, like location, one street over can mean a huge difference. And so what we keep in mind about homes in this area is we have Lackland Air Force Base right here. We have UTSA is just like a little bit further up. So there's a ton of residential all in this area outside of like the 1604. And that's where we're going to find properties like this one. This is a right under 2,000 square feet. Built in 2010. As you can see, it's nothing crazy, but this is a great move-in ready home. So you can definitely find something like this, 255, move-in ready. This is probably like, I don't know, 5 minutes from Lackland. So this is what we're seeing a lot in this area is about 250, 300,000. Like the closer you get outside of 1604, the more the higher price and the newer the homes. But I mean, you can get something real nice, move-in ready, nice backyard, right around
What's
250.
The square footage in your built on that one?
What was that?
The square footage in your built?
The square footage in this one's right under 2,000. So it's right at 1929. And this one was built in 2010.
Hey, Renee, how far would it take to get from like downtown Austin to here? No traffic.
From downtown Austin?
Yeah.
Or San Antonio.
No, specifically from downtown Austin. Huh. And the reason why I'm bringing that up is because obviously we do a lot of we have a lot of conversations about Austin real estate, but this could also be a potential for somebody who maybe they work in South Austin and they just don't hit the price points and they're willing to drive, or if they have family that wants to be nearby but can't afford. There's all sorts of reasons. So I'm just curious about approximately.
Yeah. So this would probably, from this driveway to get like to 6th Street in this is probably going to be, of course, depending on traffic, time of day, all that, let's say 2 hours tops. So this is perfect. Like what you were saying for if somebody wants
That's right on the money.
They like remote. I'm sorry?
That's right on the money. I looked it up. 2 hours.
Oh. Yeah. Right about 2 hours. Cause you know how in Texas, we don't do anything by like distance. We say by time. So I feel like we always just measure everything by time because Texas is so big. But yeah, this would be perfect for someone like if you commute into Austin like once a week, you can find some really reasonably priced, your money's going to go really far in San Antonio. So yeah, if you're talking about like family that you want close, but not too close, or you commute into into Austin like once or twice a week. I actually did have a client that commuted to Austin once a week that lived on the west side of San Antonio. And they eventually went remote, but they were doing that for a while and it worked out for them.
My dad, Tony Freese, is a realtor in New Braunfels, and he does videos on YouTube. And he specifically mentioned that his family, myself, and his grandkids are the perfect 45 minutes away from him coming from New Braunfels. So like kind of far, but not too far, which is exactly what Renee was describing. So yeah, that 35 corridor leading all the way into San Antonio is an interesting second option for all those different scenarios.
Yeah. And throughout the podcast, we'll work our way closer to Austin. This is the furthest away. But anyone that's looking for something west side of San Antonio, yeah, you're looking at about a 2-hour drive to Austin, depending on time frame or time of day.
And to answer the San Antonio downtown question, it says 24 to 29 minutes from downtown San Antonio. Is that a measurement people ask for?
Yeah, time distance. Yeah.
From downtown San Antonio? That's like a thing?
No, most of my clients don't ask about downtown San Antonio because San Antonio is so like spread out and so wide. They basically just driving distance to X, Y, and Z. It's usually like work or school versus, I mean, downtown. If you work downtown, I guess most of my clients being like military and the bases all around, usually don't ask for like a downtown time frame.
Awesome. What about, let's go to 280,000 price range in the Austin area. Who has one of those properties?
I've got something. So I tend to work in kind of north central Austin space. So I chose to pull up a condo that I would recommend to somebody. So if you're, this is going to be good for people that they like to walk to cafes and restaurants. They like to be in the middle of the action. And they don't want to have to get into their car for everything. So I'm going to zoom out here on the map so you kind of see where I am. Here's obviously the downtown Austin area. And there's lots of condos in this section here. Now, unfortunately, getting a 2-bedroom condo in this 250 to 350 space, that's left, I would say, this year. That train has left the station. But you can still get a 1-bed, 1-bath condo. So I suppose I'm talking to singles here that have this budget. And they're all kind of unique in a way. They're going to be older. So usually 1960s, 1970s. A lot of them end up having pools inside of the communities, so that's helpful. And then little garden and patio areas. So this is really less about having the perfect kind of experience inside the home and more about you want to be plugged into the city around you and you have great access to that. And another thing to note here is that the transit plan that Austin is putting into place is going to actually surround these condos because they have the Burnett Road corridor coming in. So they're going to do a lot of bus system work here. And then Lamar is where the train will be coming in as well, the tram going to downtown.
Nice. What year built was that?
What was that?
What year built was that?
Let's see. That was
It looked a little 70s-ish.
1984. So yeah, that's gonna be the biggest thing. Now they have a lot of brand spanking new things going up there. It's very popular to tear things down and put up a new thing. But then once you do that, now we're talking $750 plus for your price point. So just trying to stick to the 200,000 to 300,000 space. You're gonna do a 1-bed, 1-bath older condo. Hey
Randy, just curious. So that's great because that's pretty central. That's a hot area. My question is, what was the association rate? Like how much were the condos?
That is a really good question because that does tend to sometimes price us right out when we thought that was going to work. So this one is actually reasonable, but I'm going to say that and people are going to hear it and they're going to be like, that's not reasonable. This one is $208 a month. So it doesn't shoot you out of your debt to income ratios. I'm actually right in the middle of a search for somebody with this. So I have all this top of mind. Sometimes these HOAs, 350, 400, and you're like, what are you guys doing back there with that HOA fee? It better be a really impressive resort style pool, et cetera. But if you can find an HOA fee between the 175 and 250 space, that's kind of the average reasonable fee that I see. So that's kind of what you would need to get acclimated to spending on those HOA condo fees.
Yeah, and that is, I looked it up too, 17 minutes away from downtown driving. If you're in your bus, they have a bus route here that you're talking about that. 27 minutes from downtown Austin.
And then the train.
The train.
Need those electric bikes now.
You ready to kick it up another notch?
Yeah. Wait. I haven't shown mine. I got one. Let me show one.
All right, let's see what you got.
I mean, I guess I don't have to. I can show another one. I'll show it. Okay, so this one, it's a
Another
little further
condo.
north, still in Austin proper, listed at 275. But here's the key. So if you're central, what did you say, Randy? You had a 1-bed, 1-bath?
Yeah.
So if you're willing to move a little further north, and this is, when I say north, this is right by the domain, right by the domain on Mopac. And so, excuse me, you get a 2-bed, 2-bath, 1,000 square foot. Now the HOA though, $300 a month.
Creeping up.
$300 a month HOA.
Wow.
Yeah. But look at it. I mean, it's nice, right? I mean, that's perspective. I think the question is, do you think it's nicer than the one in San Antonio?
Yeah.
Well, San Antonio was a house.
There's a house, a whole house.
I know.
I thought the appliances are really great.
What we're showing.
I like that. All right, so we talked about San Antonio's median price point at $280,000. We're gonna move to the February 2022 median price point of Austin at $595,000. Renee, you want to kick it off with the San Antonio property around that price point?
Absolutely. Okay, let's take a look. So something that we've got around that, let's take a look at this one. So this is working back towards Austin. This is a property in Shirts. And can you also see the pictures on my screen?
I see the MLS, like the front picture.
So this is, it's on a little bit bigger of a lot, as you can see, 0.21. These homes in the Shirts area are right off of 35. This is working your way kind of outside of San Antonio, but this is still a very popular area for people that don't really want to be in a city and want a little bit more of like a small town feel. Of course, it's not actually small anymore. The secret's out. People have been moving to this area for a long time. Lots of people there, but it does have like that small town feel of there's people that have been there all their lives, small grocery stores. It's still a really nice area. And this one even being at 425, I mean, as you can see, listed at 425, it's a huge house at almost 3,400 square feet, built in 99. It's fresh on the market, but it's ready for someone to come in and put all their own touches on it. So this isn't like a price you would find a brand new home in the Shirts area. But I mean, it's still a great option for people that want to stay under that median price point of Austin. They move down here a little bit closer to San Antonio into the Shirts area. You can find a huge home with a huge yard for right around that. Like this one's 425.
Hey,
do you think there's a lot of, go ahead, Ian.
I was going to ask about the taxes for that. Let's start with that.
Yeah, so this one, the tax rate is about right at $8,000. I'm sure you guys are going through this right now, the fighting of the taxes. We're having a hard time just trying to find, I mean, everyone should fight their taxes to keep them low, but we're having a hard time finding proof of, helping them prove that their home should be evaluated lower. Are you guys coming across that at all up there in Austin too?
Well, that's an episode that we, in this situation, we did it last week. So,
okay.
Yeah, we talked about that. And then, then the next question is, this is listed at like 425-ish, right? Are you seeing people right now going way over in your area? Because in Austin, it's just, sorry.
Yeah. So if I had clients putting an offer in on this home, of course you feel out the situation, make sure, you're talking to the listing agent to see, because, writing an offer, competing against 4 other offers is much different than when you would write if you're competing against 15 other offers. Homes like this that are maybe not exactly like this one, but if they're move-in ready, they're nice, even if they're priced around this 450 price point, I would expect that home probably has, if it was in a little bit better condition, I bet it would have probably between 5 to 10 offers on it. We're not seeing like a ton of offers, but we are still almost every property that's priced accordingly and move-in ready is still seeing multiple offers. But that one, because of the condition, I wouldn't expect people to go way, way over. If it was in really, really good condition, yeah, I could see people going, I mean, $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 over for a house like that. If it was in great condition. That specific one wasn't in great condition, so I would think it would bring in slightly less offers, probably more around the listing price.
Man, that was a big lot. It was like almost a quarter acre or something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Wow.
this Schertz area, that's where you're going to find a lot of really nice older homes built between the 80s and 90s. I mean, there's new homes too, but there's a really good pocket of homes just like that where it's 80s, 90s, larger lots, more mature trees. You're going to find a lot of that in the Schertz-Cibolo area.
I love it. I love it. Let's see what we got in the ATX area. Who got a property?
So I'm going to show a price of, here we go. I'm going over to the Northwest Hills.
Ooh.
Hold on, I went to the wrong one.
So we're getting into the 595 range, y'all,
Here we go.
which is the Austin median.
Okay, so I like the Northwest Hills. I'm going to show you guys on the map where that's at. You're going to cross over Mopac. This is Mopac here. So originally I had us centered in here looking at some 1-2 bedroom condos. When somebody has a little bit higher of a budget, like in the 500 to 700 range, and they're thinking I could really use maybe just some more square footage, a little bit more privacy. I don't need to be surrounded by so much commercial. Actually jumping over Mopac and coming into the Northwest Hills, I find to be a way better price per square foot deal. And they tend to have townhome communities versus condo communities. And that is what this is. So they're going to be old again. Everything I got is old. And then that's just what
mature.
That's what has to happen whenever you want to live in the center of Boston. So let me get back to the front picture here. They've updated this one, so that's nice.
Yeah, that's a really nice update.
Okay, so here's the townhome style that I'm talking about. So you tend to be attached to other homes, other units still. They a lot of time have greenbelt spaces because, again, this is kind of more in the hills section of Austin. There's some really large, pretty trees. There's a lot of deer in Northwest Hills, which is kind of a fun treat. And you just kind of feel like you're surrounded by nature rather than being surrounded by commercial. But again, you just hop under Mopac and now you're back into the business of going into work or getting all of the access to the commercial spaces and everything. And we're getting some more square footage inside. We're getting some updates. And they tend to have, because the townhome communities are a little bit bigger and more spread out, they'll tend to have that pool and amenity center, not a big grand one that the suburbs provide, but just enough to where you feel like you have your own slice of heaven inside of hill country. So that's what I have. Oh, and garages, actually. That's a pretty key thing that I tend to find for people when we move over to looking at Northwest Hills, is that you'll get a 2-car garage with it.
Because sometimes you don't get a 2-car garage is what she's saying.
I see down.
What do you think, Ian?
What do you mean, what do I think? What's the question?
You got a property? You have thoughts
I
on
sure
that one?
do. Of course I have a property.
All right.
Pull this up right here.
Another Austin one.
So this one's actually another one in Austin proper. Now, it's close to Mueller. So what you get for the money is convenience. That's what you get for the money. So this one's 784 square foot, and it is a single family condo, 1 bed, 1 bath. This is just a rendering, and we don't know what the final price is going to be. And that's for any of these houses, right? You don't know what they're actually going to sell at. But look, so they had this lot and this house.
Oh my gosh.
And so they're selling this rendering because they're going to build that for you at this price point. So if you're looking for something brand spanking new in a very hot East Austin area, this is it, right? And Tesla just had their GigaFest Cyber Rodeo last night. And so they just opened the Tesla Gigafactory officially. So like, if you want to be not far from there or you work there, this is a clutch opportunity. Now, also notice no HOA. Okay. It was built in 1925. However, it was not built in 1925. You get what I mean? You get what I mean?
Yeah, because they're gonna rebuild a new development.
Everything.
I like to tell people to be careful whenever they're looking at the renderings, because sometimes it's not that they're going to build it for you. Sometimes they're just selling the lot and the plans, and it's really annoying having to kind of bring my clients back down to earth and like, that's not, I'm so sorry. I know that looked like you're going to get that house, but you'd have to then go hire your team and pay for the materials, et cetera, et cetera. So
Like a bait and switch there.
That is a fantastic point. Also, if you do try to buy it and you're like, but I need to go see it, guess what?
yeah.
It doesn't exist. There's nothing to go see. That's why it's a render. And
Yeah,
that
it
happens a
has
lot with
happened
new
to me.
builds anywhere in the Austin area. So keep that in mind as well.
All right, let's kick it up to a luxury notch. Renee, if we get into $1 million plus, what's that look like in the greater San Antonio area?
Okay, so
Ooh.
here I've got, this is in New Braunfels, and so we're creeping back up towards that Austin. This is one of our luxury neighborhoods in New Braunfels called Newcomb Ranch. It's a gated community in New Braunfels, and it's smaller lots, but this is something that maybe, like, I think a California buyer would look at this property and feel a little bit more at home.
Yeah.
Because it's super modern. It's
That's
got all of the nice features that you want. And oh my gosh, I got to show you guys. This is my favorite part. The kitchen is just, guys.
And
Look
that's
at
still
that.
below $1 million too. That's freaking
Right?
awesome.
Yeah, it's right at it. But it's, I mean, if you're looking for luxury and you don't want to pay, I mean, what do you guys think? What would something like this with a kitchen like this, what would this cost for someone in Austin?
I don't want to embarrass us. That is stupid gorgeous.
Vibe.
That is a beautiful house
It
at
really
that price
is
point.
gorgeous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
So it's, as you can see, it's kind of in New
Really
Braunfels,
detailed.
even in our luxury, we see a lot of like mixing of the trends. So mixing a lot of like the natural woods with the horizontal lines, because it's super modern, but it's New Braunfels. It's still Texas. You still got to have a little bit of like rustic charm to it.
Listen,
So
you've got a lake. You've got water there.
Yeah,
You've got
Canyon
close
Lake,
proximity
Cedar.
between Austin and San Antonio.
Yeah. New
yeah,
Braunfels.
New Braunfels.
Awesome.
New Braunfels has been one of the fastest growing communities for like the last 5 years. It's made the top lists of fastest growing communities outside of big metroplex areas. Like the secret's out. There's a bunch of celebrities too that live in New Braunfels, just because it's so close to Austin. The prices are fairly low, especially when you take into consideration like what they're used to, maybe in like California, New York, things like that. You can get like the height of luxury for about $1 million.
Celebrities like TikTok star Renee Zunker.
Yes, yes, like those celebrities. I do not live in $1 million house in New Braunfels though. So
What celebrities? I'm
one
curious.
day. Which
An example of a
celebrities?
celebrity? Yeah.
Let's see. I know.
McConaughey.
McConaughey, doesn't he live in Austin? He doesn't live in
He
New
lives in.
Braunfels.
He's here.
I know he works at YouTube.
Come back to me. I'll come back to you. I'll come back to y'all with a list and give me 2 minutes. I'll come back to y'all.
Lots of Americana singers for sure, but it's probably not status. It's just Texas famous.
Yeah, Texas
Braunfels.
famous. We've got Randy Rogers' band lives and operates in New Braunfels. His wife has a really cute boutique right downtown New Braunfels too.
How is downtown New Braunfels? New Braunfels.
Downtown New Braunfels is really great. So the locals hate when people even bring attention to it, because it used to be really nice, is the fact that they always host things like Wassail Fest. They have a farmer's market downtown. They have a bunch of little community events downtown. The only problem is now that they're so nice that they're so crowded. Lots of people go there for them. So they're worth going if you want to make the drive into New Braunfels to check out like Wassail Fest or any of the parades, the downtown events. Go check it out. Go early to get parking.
Yeah.
See, that's like our Georgetown, the town square, and then like Bastrop, the town square. It was like that, where it was super small and quaint, and now you can't park.
Yeah, Georgetown is adorable. It's so cute.
I love them. Small town Texas downtowns. All right, let's get back into ATX. What's going on? with
So my
that
last
luxury
one
price
to
point.
share is Crestview, Brentwood area again. So
Good old Central, North Central.
not you, Dartmouth. Okay. So what you get with $1 million here lately is going to either be an older house with a very large lot, and then you can make it a blank canvas to do whatever you're going to do with it. Or you're picking up somebody who just got done rehabbing it, tearing it down, and putting in a new spot. So this is going to be an original 1955 that was just rehabbed and updated. Your lot size here is, where is that? There we go, 0.15. So that's kind of typical actually for the Crestview Brentwood spaces. They tend to have smaller lots than some other neighborhoods that are in the area, but really nicely done finishes. You are walking to a lot of really cool old-fashioned Austin spots like the Crown Violet Shopping Center and Little Deli, Pizzeria. So you're kind of getting to be plugged into kind of the best stuff that original Austin has to provide. And then what you're sacrificing though when you do that is definitely going to be square footage. And then depending on what neighborhood you choose, your lot size as well. The elementaries are within the neighborhood boundaries. So this is going to be really popular for families right now because they like being able to have their kids plugged into just their little community that they're so obsessed with. And so, so you can already see I got a little place set back here. So yeah, that is an example of what you can get. I guess I'll show the map real quick before I stop sharing. So again, we went back to kind of Crestview, Brentwood area. You can come over here to these neighborhoods where you're going to get sometimes 1/4 of an acre for a lot size, which is pretty large for Central Austin stuff. This Wooten or Shoal Creek is the better bang for your buck at this time. Like this is definitely the place where you can still get a couple of bargains. And then as you get farther down here, it starts to get to be old money and really large estates almost. So yeah, that's what I have to share.
Good old Crestview. What do you think?
I love that. One of my early clients, we bought a house for him in Crestview, and it was, I want to say like 430.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It was like 4 or 5 years ago, and he paid 430,000. And I know he's happy. That's all I'm saying. That's a beautiful house. Beautiful house. All right. So where is mine? What do I have? Okay. So I'm going to take it over to a suburb because I want to try to compete with Renee, but it's not really going to compete with Renee. So check this out. So this is Cedar Park, Texas. There we go. And my wife actually sent this to me this morning. She was like, Ian, we need to get this house now. Because we're shopping and she saw, and it came up in her feed and she's like, this is it. This is the one. And I'm like, I don't know if it's going to be there by the time I'm ready to commit. Because it's a 6-bedroom. First off, nobody needs 6 bedrooms. Okay. I mean, I don't need 6. We don't need 6 bedrooms. But 6 bedrooms, 5 baths, 4,000 square feet. The tax rate is very low here. The price per square foot, look at that, $290 a square foot. So let's take a look at the map just so we can kind of get a feel for where it's at. It is near Brushy Creek, not far from Avery Ranch and that area. Mm-hmm. So it's a very solid location, and it's near where they're going to do the Leander Springs and Northline Station. So you're close to so many things and not far from downtown as long as traffic is nice. Right. So it's very good. The school ratings, you can look those up, but this is a highly sought after area. The house needs a little. I
see like an Apple person like capitalizing on this one.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Built in 96, almost 4 acres.
Woo.
Right. And then again, it needs a little work, but it also has a guest house.
Oh,
it has an ADU. Dang. These are dated, but they're still gorgeous. There's a lot you can do to this. Let's see if I can get to the ADU real quick.
Yeah.
People need to realize that it is okay to get the outdated house in this market.
Right, because you can
will gain equity here and update it all you want. Just get the land.
Yeah, get the land. Look at these. You get rid of these wood panels and you got the double decker.
Man, that's really
front porch wraparound. That's all my wife wants. She's like, I want a porch that wraps around the house.
What year built is that? The interior threw me off a bit. What's the year built?
96, I think, is what it was.
96.
So look, ADU in the back. That ADU, look at this. It's a house
Dang, with its own garage.
with its own garage. She's,
This
seriously,
is
she
a little
saw
bit
this
of a
and she's like
unicorn. I
texting
don't
and
know if
calling.
this
She's
is-
like, can we? I'm like,
It's a really unique house. That's really cool.
It's a very, very cool house.
Awesome. Well, that wraps it up. Any last thoughts on the differences? Did y'all notice anything?
Well, I think we should ask in the comments what do you favor and why?
Absolutely.
Right? Which house did you like the most, and what area did you like the most based on the budgets?
Yeah. Also, this is a pre-recorded, so if we're not responding, we apologize. We will comment later.
Yeah, we'll get back and answer everything.
Awesome. Renee, you there?
Oh,
Here we
yeah.
go.
Did you lose me?
Yeah.
A little bit, yeah. That's okay.
Oops, I'm here.
Yeah. Any final thoughts for the viewers? Did you notice anything about the versus property wars here?
Yeah, it's we hear stories about the Austin market and how crazy it is. It's one thing to actually like see the differences. You guys have completely different types of properties and completely different as far as like the areas go. It's so different than San Antonio. I could see how someone could easily fall in love with Austin. It seems like a great place, a very expensive place to be, but a very great place.
I'm thinking about going to New Braunfels.
Yeah, right.
That is the place
I'm
to
outta
be.
here.
You and the rest of like half the country, because it's tough out there for New Braunfels. New Braunfels, even in like the multiple offers situation, I would say it's closer to Austin than San Antonio and New Braunfels.
I bet. Well, appreciate everybody tuning in. We'll see you next on the next Real Estate Lab.
Bye.
Thanks, everybody.